Welcome back to another video. In this one I'm going to discuss the build and first impressions of the Next Level Racing F-GT Elite Sim rig. I was about to clean up my room and I thought, hey, let's just show the mess of what it looks like after a person's been building one of these rigs for the past couple of days. So sorry Mom that I'm going to show my room is a mess, but it is going to get cleaned up. I'll clean it up later. But anyway, let's look at the destruction that I caused. As you can see, we got boxes, we got styrofoam, we got some old rigs, we got a table, some bags over there, parts of old rigs. There's the new rig, a bunch of tools on the ground, other hardware. So let's go talk about why I chose the F-GT Elite. So this is my old rig, the Abuto Revolution. As you can see, it's been modified just a little bit. I've had this for about, I don't know, maybe 10 years now. It's been great. When I bought the Next Level Racing motion seat, I had to take off its seat and then put these plates on here so I could at least have something to mount it to, so when I pressed on the brake, it wouldn't move it. But this thing has been awesome. I've really enjoyed it. When I got the Fanatec DD2, I was a little bit worried that it may not be rigid enough, but it was. I hadn't had any issues with it. Everything is just great. The reason why I moved, I wanted to get a profile rig because I'm hoping to get full motion in the future, and you just really can't with these rigs. So I was trying to decide what rig to get. Hey, there it is. It's put together. Which profile rig to get. I was looking at the P1X, Next Level Racing. The P1X you can't get right now. They're sold out. And I kind of had some vacation. I wanted to get one. So I went ahead and got the Next Level Racing. One reason, because I already have the motion seat and it has the brackets and it fits in perfectly. All the other seats that you get, all the other profile seats, if I wanted to use that for more time, I'd have to do some kind of weird, like this thing again, do something different. And I didn't really want to mess with that. My only concern about this rig is it D-Box compatible? Or other types of transducers, other types of motion systems is compatible. I'm not sure. I've asked some things in videos, no one's really said anything, so I might have to find out myself sometime in the future. I got a dog in the back. Anyway, so that's one of the reasons why I chose that. First, I was just going to get the seat. As you can see, there's the ES1 seat. I was just going to get that, try it out and see if I liked it, because when I had the Next Level Racing motion, in order to fit the Abuto chair, I had to modify the motion because they do stuff proprietary, so not any seat will fit on it, just their seats. So you have to do some modifications, and I had to get a file and make the holes bigger for the seats. Anyway, I didn't want to do that anymore. I was always worried about something bad happening with the motion system because of that. So I went ahead and got their seat. Then I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and get the whole rig. So I got that, ordered that earlier in the day, the seat, and then the rig, I had like 22 seconds left before it would be delivered in 2 days versus 5 days. So I finally got it. The rig came in last night. The seat, which I ordered earlier from Amazon, came in this morning. It wasn't on the truck, so I was a little disappointed about that. But I didn't get it finished anyway last night, and I was so tired that it didn't really matter. I was able to do the seat this morning. So anyway, that's kind of my reasoning for this profile. So let's get into my build and what my process for there. So here's the box that it comes in. It's really nice that it comes in one box. It's about 110 pounds. I was able to put it on its side and then scoot it on my downstairs on my carpet, down the stairs, and then get, of course, seat movers and get it over here where I needed to get. So this is the first piece that comes out. This is where all the main and the base boards come from. And here's where I came my first issue. As you can see, that was not there when I got it. It was all together. I could not get the piece that was in there out. I tried for maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes just trying to pull on it, and it would not budge. The other piece, which is the other base up top, that came out a little bit issue, but not really an issue. Come out pretty quickly. But this one didn't. Eventually, I don't know if the box got kind of damaged on the front there or just maybe kind of squished in a bit. But I finally got that out. I don't know if you're like me. When I try to do something, there's always some weird thing that pops up. I did have one problem with the shipping. This piece right here was damaged a little bit, but it was just styrofoam. All the metal pieces weren't scratched, so the packing was pretty good. All the pieces do not come wrapped. There's only a couple that are wrapped, and that's because they're double put, 2 pieces of the same together, so that way it keeps it from scratching. But you can't see a lot of styrofoam all over the place. I have vacuumed a couple times, but this stuff gets everywhere. So not a big thing, but every piece you get, every profile piece you pick up, you need to get a blower or use your breath and just blow out the styrofoam pieces because it's a big pain. Anyway, that's that. So as far as all the pieces you get, they give you all the things you need. They give you tools. The tools have been, I've used them very well. Mostly use the tools to do it. They give you a nice ratchet set, which I don't see anywhere. As you can see, I got a bigger ratchet set there. I'll tell you why I had to use that in just a second. Well, I'll find it here in a minute. Anyway, all the pieces were included except some M8 flange washers. So in the book here, it says you get included, they give you 6 M8 washers. The problem is you need 8. You need 4 to hold the this piece up. And then if you have the Next Level Racing motion seat, you need 4 more to attach this right here, this right here to the racing thing. You need 4 of those. They only give you 6. And the manual actually specifically says you need 4 here and 4 there. So they need to fix that. Give you more. I don't know how much of a cost it is, but give people a little bit more pieces like they did with other things. Everything else I got more of. These use these bolts quite a bit. Another thing, like with all bolts, any kind of system you get, they're going to be oily, so you got to kind of maybe wash them off a little bit. Your hands are getting a little dirty, and your hands are probably going to get a little bloody because the profile is a little bit sharp. I did have some cuts and bruises. I was like, whoa, I got blood on me. That's good. But other than that, all the pieces were there. Like I said, they give you the tools to make it. I didn't have any problems with that. I did find myself using the hex wrench more than the little ratchet set. It just sometimes just felt easier, just something I'm used to. The level is nice, and that brings me to my first thing I should have done better. This is a table that I built myself. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to be on the ground and bending over a lot, so let me just start building on this table. And I just put this carpet that I had underneath my other rig. And you know what? That's not level. And when you're trying to level things, something that's not on a level thing, that's not the best of the world. So I was able just to build the flat base on this table, then move down to my level floor. So that was on me. I did recognize that pretty quickly, luckily. But anyway, that's just a tip. Make sure when you're leveling, because the things you do have to level, or you want level, I guess, you try to want to have these pretty level, where your base is at. So anyway, you need to be doing that. And I got a bigger level there, which is actually too big. So I'm glad they give you the small one. And it's also magnetic, so it fits on there pretty well. The build itself, like I said, other than those small things, it went pretty well. Building it's kind of easy, except, you don't want to tighten everything too tight because you need to move stuff around. But that can cause some other problems. So the biggest issue I had was getting this wheel mount on here. So at first it wasn't level, and so I had to get these uprights to be level. And then you can put these on. Now, what about your wheel deck? So what the manual says for the Fanatec is to put these on, attach it here, and then come over here and attach this, and then you're going to bring your wheel deck over and put in screws right there and there. Well, I watched some other videos. I think Will from Boosted Media said, you know what you do? Just go ahead and install these things together on your wheel deck and then bring it over here and set it right there. Well, I tried that, and trying to get that level and getting that all right, that didn't just work very well. I never could get that level enough to my liking. There's always something a little bit off. So I basically went back and did what the manual said and attached this to the Fanatec, this to this base, and then held it up with my hand and put the screws in, and it actually worked pretty well, although that Fanatec is pretty heavy. Other than that, I didn't really have a difficulty with the build. The instructions are very well. Like you said, you can look online. The only kind of question I had, there was some felt pieces that go there and over there. It really wasn't clear where to put them. And I almost thought they should have included maybe some extra felt pieces. Some felt pieces go underneath this, so when you're sliding this around. But I thought everything else maybe could have had those. I guess they didn't, maybe for rigidity purposes. But I'm just always kind of worried a little bit about scratching stuff. I do have a couple scratches on there, not big ones, but like I said, I was trying to be very careful, but knowing me, everything goes crazy. One thing I was worried about the rig was this is my 3 monitor stand from Abuto. I was worried I wouldn't be able to use that, and I have to buy another stand. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, the stand kind of starts wide and then gets smaller to the top. So that was as high as I could get the pedal deck, and just have enough room to get underneath there. So if I want to do F1 racing seating, I might have to do something different, but it worked pretty well because I like having, although I don't have triple monitors anymore, I do like having these as speaker stands. And that works pretty well, and I really like that. Speaking of speaker stands with the new seat, like I said, this is the Abuto seat. I did like their method of doing 5.1 surround sound. I do like that versus the headphones. Basically, that just attaches around. Swap that around. That attaches with Velcro on the back, and then you got your speaker set. This seat, not as much. I'll have to do some different things with that maybe. I mean, I guess I could get my speaker stands, which I have. I'd rather not do that. But anyway, we'll see about that, what I can do with that later. That does go talk about the seat. That went on the motion platform really well. Like I said, I didn't get all the full bolts, and so luckily, I was able to use the bolts from when I put this seat on there to that, so otherwise I'd have been stuck and had to go to the hardware store. But this seat, I do like it. I was a little bit worried because I'm so used to this reclining seat. I was worried I wouldn't be able to get in a good position, but I am. It works really well. It is a little bit of hug around my love handles, but it is pretty wide. But it's pretty snug. It warns you when you're gaining too much weight, so that's a kind of a good thing. If you noticed over here, you might have seen this. I've been testing out this Next Level Racing HF8 seat motion, or I guess it's haptic seat. So far, pretty positive impressions. I do have a butt kicker rig. I have a front and back. I did have 4 on this Abuto setup, but since, as you can see, those things there would not really transfer too much noise or buzz, so that we'll maybe try it on this rig. But this seat's been pretty well. The only problem is with this new seat, these right here, excuse my pants and and socks, they don't fit on the seat itself. They kind of sit out a little bit. So on the other seat, my legs are underneath them a lot more. So we'll see how that works when I get some time to test it out later. And you do have to be wary. This is a pretty thick seat, and that will possibly cause you to have to change things. And that's the biggest time consumer of this whole process, was getting everything set up to your liking. Because the one thing is that the pedal deck and the wheel deck are tied together. And same with this, as you can see right here, the shifter deck. So if you want to move one thing, you got to move everything. And that's not easy. You got to loosen the bolts, and then you have to move everything on the left and right at the exact same time, the exact same motion, or exact same distance, because if you don't, you'll bind up, and then your one screws on one side will get tighter, and it's just a big hassle. So it's really slow process getting this rig set up the way you want it. Once it is, like I said, you really shouldn't have to touch it anymore, but that initial setup's going to take you quite a long time. And we'll see if I like this setup. I wasn't sure if I wanted the shifter stand there or more attached to the seat, but I kind of like it right there the way I've got it. Everything feels good. Going back to that HF8, when that goes in here, like I said, that pushes you up. And so I'm lucky that all I have to really do is just move this seat back, and it's good. One other thing I did have a problem with was this putting on this seat. So this bracket, I don't know if I'll be able to see it. You won't be able to. This bracket right there sits on top of the Next Level Racing Motion. And if you get it where the seat is perfect, one of the brackets will be hitting on top of some screws. And I did that at first, and then I looked down and I looked at it, and I thought maybe I'd not better do that because I saw some shavings from some of the screws, and so I had to move it out a little bit. Well, when I did that, then it was tough to get the screws into the seat because I'm thinking, it comes very stiff from the factory, and you're actually having to warp it just a little bit. So bolts the seat sits in the middle of two bolts. And so it took me a while to be able to press that in there and able to get the bolts in the seat. Then it kind of just worked well. But at first I was kind of worried about that. So I don't know the answer to that. Just be very careful when you have the next level racing motion. If you do that you're not covering up those two bolts. You'll be able to see them if you have one. But other than that, I've been able to feel more with this seat than I do have my reclining Abuto seat. More of the bumps in Dirt Rally 2, I can really feel everything. Come on, WRC, we got to get that. NLR, we got to get the emotion for the WRC. I've been waiting for that to see if it's improved. But Dirt 2 is amazing. Just everything felt really much more impactful. My butt kicker actually worked quite a bit more than my other one with this seat because, like I said, with the reclining seat, it may be a little bit more comfortable, but it's just rigid because it has to be reclined. So far, I'm overall happy with that seat. Other than that, like I said, it's just going to take you a long time to get everything set up the way you want it. The shifter is kind of small. Shifter plate's kind of small, so we'll see. I do have another handbrake on the way because I'm just this is the Fanatec one, and I just don't know. It's just moves a little bit too much. So I'm going to try a different one, and I just hope I have enough space to do something with. Like I said, they do give you a lot of, like I said, this is the first time I'm saying it. I don't know why I do that. That's just a saying I have. A lot of cable management, so I've tried to use that quite a bit. I don't know if you can see the cable management there. It is nice to do that. And also the end caps. Make sure you put them on because you will cut yourself if you don't. Other than that, I've been very happy. Like I said, I've only raced a couple of hours. Because I've been so tired, so I had to go up and take a nap. When you get over 50, or when you get 50, stuff takes a little bit longer and it takes a bit of time to heal. Especially when you hit your head on your monitor, it nearly knocks you out. So anyway, I'm going to get this room cleaned up and going to get some racing going on. And I'll give you my further impressions later if they change. But anyway, thank you for watching.